Good morning, students. So today's our first topic is nutrition. So in this topic, we have to cover up to light reactions only. So after this session, we will had another session for the exam point of view. So so let us focus on this concept. Yes, our first topic in this lesson is nutrition. In this nutrition topic, we have to cover the following concepts like the photosynthesis. So my question is, what is the meaning of nutrition and how the organisms can intake their food materials? So nutrition means the mode of acquiring food is called nutrition. న్యూట్రిషన్ అంటే ఏంటంటే మోడ్ ఆఫ్ అక్వైరింగ్ ఫుడ్, అంటే మనం ఎలా ఆహారాన్ని తీసుకుంటామో దాన్నే మనం న్యూట్రిషన్ అని అంటాం. సో ఇన్ దిస్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు కవర్ what are the other types of the nutrition. So let us discuss about the nutrition. The nutrition, we will find autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. We know that what is the meaning of autotrophic nutrition? The organisms which can prepare their own food material itself, it is called as autotrophic nutrition. Then what about that heterotrophic nutrition? Heterotrophic nutrition means the organisms which depends upon the other organisms for their food materials. This is called heterotrophic nutrition. So basically in the nutrition process, means in the heterotrophic nutrition process, so there are few steps are there. The first one is ingestion, and the second one is digestion, and third one is absorption, and fourth one is transportation, and fifth one is respiration. So means these are the 5 steps which are involved in the heterotrophic nutrition. So we know that ingestion. What is the meaning of ingestion? Intake of food materials is called as ingestion. We know that all the heterotrophic organisms are depends mainly on the other autotrophic organisms for their survival. So in this process, these organisms can intake their food materials in many ways. So in later classes, we will discuss about that what are the other ways of ingestion of food. So let us focus on how this nutrition is happen in the living organisms. So as early I discussed, in the ingestion, digestion, absorption, transportation, and respiration, all these are the 5 categories of nutrition. So first, ingestion, intake of food materials is called ingestion. Then digestion. So we know that after intaking of the food materials, these food particles should be converted into the simpler substances. Means digestion means conversion of complex molecules into simpler substances is called digestion. So in multicellular organisms, the digestion is takes place in many stages. So for this also we have to discuss in further classes. After the digestion process, the digested food particles should be absorbed and assimilated to the tissues level and as well as the cellular level. And transportation. So we know that the absorption is happen at our small intestine and as well as the large intestine. So after this absorption and assimilation of the food materials, so now the food should be transported to the different tissue levels. So for this it needs some medium. So we know that the transportation system can takes place all these functions. And later, after the digested food particle assimilated and transported to the tissue levels and the cellular levels, now here the final process happens. So in this process, these converted simple substances should be oxidized at cellular level. This process we know respiration. At the end of the respiration, we will get energy. So this is the system of nutrition in the heterotrophic organism. But this type of system is not happen in the autotrophic organisms. So let us discuss about the autotrophic nutrition. So autotrophic nutrition is a process in which the organisms produce their food from simple inorganic materials such as water, carbon dioxide, and minerals, and all these ingredients are converted, means are fixed in the presence of sunlight. Such organisms which need autotrophic nutrition are called autotrophs. So here we have an idea about the autotrophic organisms. So we know that for every life process, the organism should perform a systematic actions. So which happens in the external and as well as the internal of an organism. So here in this autotrophic nutrition, the organisms, means especially the plants. So we know that autotrophic nutrition is mainly performed by the plants, and even some cyanobacteria and green sulfur bacteria, those can also perform autotrophic nutrition. So we know that here in this process, these organisms especially convert the simple inorganic materials. We know that for the photosynthesis process, the raw materials are water, carbon dioxide, and minerals, and all these converted into the food materials in the presence of sunlight. So here we know that the sunlight is an energy source. For every chemical reaction, there is essential of some energy particles to convert into a complex molecules. Some chemotrophic bacteria also perform the photosynthesis. They utilize the chemical energy to synthesize organic materials. So as earlier I explained about the purple sulfur bacteria and green sulfur bacteria, those can also prepare their own food materials. Photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is a process by plants that have chlorophyll build up complex organic molecules from simple inorganic ones using sunlight as an energy source. The most accepted formula for photosynthesis, which was proposed by C.B. Van Nyl. Later, Robert Hill, he showed oxygen is released from water, and he also modifies the equation into as follows. So we know that the basic formula for the photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. So this is the basic formula for the basic equation for the photosynthesis. Next, as we know that the autotrophic organisms can prepare their own food materials by using simple inorganic molecules. Okay, so here the plants can also fix the simple inorganic molecules like carbon dioxide, water in the presence of sunlight by utilizing the chlorophyll to produce oxygen and water, and finally the glucose. We know that the produced glucose, it should be stored in different tissues in the form of starch. So this process we call it as translocation. So translocation is the process which happen in the conductive tissues of plants. Next, different scientists conduct several experiments on autotrophic organisms, and they give their conclusions. So first, Van Helmont proved that the substances need for the growth of a plant are not only come from the soil, they also come from water. So we know that water is essential factor for photosynthesis. So water plays a crucial role in photosynthesis. So it is explained by Van Helmont. Next, Joseph Priestley. In your early classes, we have learned about the Priestley experiments. So we know that the Joseph Priestley discovered oxygen, and he also hypothesized that the plants restore the air whatever breathing animals and burning candles remove. So in the mint plant experiment, we understood about that what are the gases which are released during the animals exhalations. Next, later Lavoisier named the above gas as oxygen. So in that experiment, the mint plant releases the oxygen. By using that oxygen, the skid mites it survived. Later, John Ingenhouse noticed that plants produce oxygen only in the presence of sunlight. So he hypothesized that during the photosynthesis process, oxygen is evolved during sunlight only. So for this clarification, we will go further. Next, Engelmann detected that the point of maximum rate of photosynthesis is in red and blue rays of light. So we know that photosynthesis it happens only in the presence of sunlight only. So here we know that the light itself as an energy source. In that energy source, plants converts the carbon dioxide and water into the carbohydrates. Especially the photosynthesis process, it is initiated by a light activated chlorophyll molecule. So we know that how the light can activate the chlorophyll molecule. For this, we have to learn about that light and dark reactions of the photosynthesis. Later, Pelletier and Cavendish extracted the green colored substance and named it chlorophyll. So as earlier we discussed, the raw materials of the photosynthesis. So these raw materials converted into carbohydrates in the presence of sunlight and the particular organelle which helped in the photosynthesis, that is that chlorophyll. Next, Julius Van Sachs found the chlorophyll in cell organelles and named as chloroplast. So here the chloroplast name was given by Julius Van Sachs. Later, Daniel Arnold separated chloroplast from the cell. So now let us discuss about the structure of chloroplast. So this is very important question. So this is a chloroplast. So we know that the eukaryotic organisms, especially the plants, which have a colored pigment, all these colored pigments are present in a particular organelle that is called chloroplast. So we know that the chloroplast, it is a triple membranous cell organelle. So triple membranous cell organelle means which surrounded by the three layers. The chloroplast consists of three membranes. The third membrane forms a stack-like structure called granum. So this is the granum. So the granum, it is a third membrane. It forms a stack-like structures. So it is the site of trapping solar energy. As earlier I mentioned, light energy, it is an essential factor for photosynthesis. So we know that in sunlight, the energy it is present in a small tiny pockets called photons. Each photon carries quantum energy. The quantum energy plays a crucial role for activation of chlorophyll. So here the chlorophyll color pigment, it is present in the chloroplast. The chloroplast, it is surrounded by the three layers. The third most layer which forms a stacked like structure, that is called granum. So this is the granum. The intermediate fluid filled portion is called stroma. So means, in other words, we can say that the colorless fluid which is present inside the chloroplast, that is called stroma. So in the stroma, glucose is synthesized and it is turned into the starch. Why? Stroma plays a crucial role for the synthesis of glucose because it have several enzymes which are essential for the photosynthesis. Hence, the site of glucose synthesis is stroma. Chlorophyll is a pigment that contains one atom of magnesium. So before we are going to discuss about the chlorophyll, what is a pigment? We know that pigment is a molecule which traps light energy and converts into the glucose. So here there are different kinds of pigments are present in the chloroplast. The chlorophyll, it is a pigment. It is a major pigment which mainly participates in the photosynthesis process. So chlorophyll, it is a porphyrin. It is also surrounded by a magnesium. So like hemoglobin, chlorophyll, it is also surrounded by the magnesium. In that hemoglobin, we have iron. Iron at a central atom. Whereas in the chlorophyll, magnesium. So hemoglobin and the chlorophyll, these two are the porphyrins. Usually in the plants, there are two kinds of chlorophylls are associated on the thylakoid membranes. They, they are chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll A is a blue-green in color, while chlorophyll B is yellow-green in color. Around 250 to 400 pigment molecules are grouped as light harvesting complex or photosynthetic unit in each granum. So what is a LHC, light harvesting complex? As earlier I told, in the chloroplast, different types of color pigments are present. So these color pigments are simply divided into two types, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So means not only a green color pigment. So whereas blue green color and yellow green color and even the red color pigments are also present in the chloroplast. All these pigmented molecules are surrounds and forms a light harvesting complex. So in this light harvesting complex, each pigment can trap the solar energy, and this solar energy further assists the further assists the photosynthetic reactions. So here the light harvesting complex plays a major role in photosynthesis. How it plays a major role? Because it traps the solar energy. This solar energy can activate the chlorophyll molecule. And what will happen after the activation of the chlorophyll molecule? So let us discuss. So as we know that the photosynthesis, it is a photochemical reaction. So here the photosynthesis can take place in two phases. The first phase we call it as light reactions. So means these light reactions are also called as light dependent reactions. So usually it takes place in grana of chloroplast. When the chlorophyll exposed to light energy, it gets activate and split the water molecule into two components, hydrogen ions and as well as hydroxyl ions. So this process is called photolysis. We know that the raw materials for the photosynthesis is carbon dioxide and water. These are the two simple inorganic materials. The first step of the light reactions. So here what will happen? Before photolysis, the chloroplast, it traps the solar energy, not the chloroplast. Just now we discussed about the structure of the chloroplast. In that I explained about chlorophyll. So the chlorophyll molecule is traps the light energy. So means here what happened? When the light illuminates on the chloroplast, so here the chlorophyll color pigments, it traps the light energy. What is the light energy here? The chlorophyll traps, that is the quantum energy. Now the chlorophyll gets excited and it has the ability to split the water molecule which is involved in the photosynthesis. Means here what happened? The water molecule is splits into two components. Means the first one is the hydrogen ions and the second one is hydroxyl ions. So here this is the water. This water is splits into two components. The first one is the hydrogen ion and second one is the hydroxyl ion. Later, these hydroxyl ions through a series of steps produce water and oxygen. So oxygen is released into the atmosphere at the end of the light reaction. At the end of the light reactions, we will also get two assimilatory powers. So the first one is ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and the second one is NADPH. NADPH means nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide hydrogen phosphate. These two are the end products of light reactions. So means here in light reactions, we will get oxygen and as well as the water and the assimilatory powers which are essential for further chemical reactions which are going to happen in next processes. So these are the light reactions. So these light reactions were discovered by Hill. Hence, the light reactions are also called as Hill reactions. Okay. So the light reactions are also called as light dependent reactions, and these are also called as Hill reactions. Okay. So what are the materials we will get at the end of the light reactions? At the end of the light reactions, we will get oxygen, water, ATP, and NADPH. So the assimilatory powers which are generated during the light reactions are ATP and NADPH. What is the use of ATP and NADPH during the photosynthesis? These are involved in the further step of reactions. We call it as dark reactions or light independent reactions. The second phase of the the second phase of the photosynthesis is called light independent reaction. So this light independent reaction means the second phase is also called as biosynthetic phase. Why it is called as biosynthetic phase? Let us discuss. The H plus ions which are generated during the light reactions are picked up by NADP to form NADPH. Okay, so the NADP molecule, it is present on the surface of thylakoid membrane. This NADP now reduced with adding of H plus ions. Finally, it forms NADPH. Later, this NADPH combined with carbon dioxide and produce glucose. So here, during the second step of reactions only, the carbon dioxide is involved. So here the carbon dioxide get fixed into carbohydrates. In other words, we can say that carbon dioxide is converted into glucose. For this, it requires some energy. So this energy is generated by the NADP molecule. So this NADP molecule is released during the light reactions. Okay, so that is the use of the light reactions during the photosynthesis. Then coming to the next one, here the carbon dioxide is reduced to glucose, means the carbon dioxide get fixed into the glucose. So hence the light independent reactions are called as carbon fixation or the carbon fixation reactions. Finally, the glucose is converted to starch and it is translocated and stored in different parts of the plant. So this entire process was discovered by Melvin Calvin. Hence, the dark reactions or light independent reactions are also called as Calvin cycle.